Yo, what's up, and welcome to Prevail Prevail. I'm your host with the most Prevail, and I'm here with Robert, owner, chef, proprietor of Campagnolo and Campagnolo Roma, and one of the most exclaimed and acclaimed pronounced chefs in North America. We're so lucky to have him back in the Vancouver fold. I know you've been back for quite a few years now, but you brought some stuff with you. You were down working with Thomas Keller at French Laundry.
I was working with Thomas for about a year and a bit, and then I was a private chef for a while as well down in California. It's a great place to learn. Unbelievable product, unbelievable culture of cooks, and the food was fantastic. So it was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, we usually set it off with a quote. So the quote is from Cervantes, and I believe he was putting these words in the character of Sancho Panza from Don Quixote, where he says, "Hunger is the best sauce in the world."
That's great.
So, and as you travel, as a man who's traveled around the world and had great food dishes all over the world, there's always different influences. As you were saying, even in Bologna, where people make bolognese, where you go from one house to another. I use a little dash of cream. Some people maybe use a little dash of something else.
That's correct. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the beauty of food. Everybody puts their own little. Everybody has their family dishes, and they put their own little touch to it, and that's what makes it their own. That's what makes it really special, and that's what makes your mom's food so special. Your Nona's food so special, and that's what's so beautiful about food, and that's what's great about restaurants too, because everybody does something just a little bit different, and that's why we have our favorite restaurants or have our favorite places to eat.
Sure. And so you worked with Mr. Cambolis for quite a while, between C and New.
Yep.
And then you ventured off. You guys teamed up with your business partners and went out, and Fuel
opened in 2006, and then we opened up Campagnolo in 2008. So it's a 5-year anniversary. It was last December.
Congratulations.
Which is a big, huge milestone, which is so fantastic. We opened up Campagnolo Roma at 2011, and it's going strong. And we're just, doing our thing, and we're, making some great food and making people really happy, and that's what it's all about for us.
And so, you're still having fun with it. It sounds like.
Absolutely. That's. I have a job that is the most fun thing in the world to do, because your job is to make people happy.
Sure.
And, I mean, you can't have a better job than that. I mean, I get to do what I love. I get to work with great people who really know what they're doing, who love what they're doing. So it's a great environment to be in every day, and it's easy for me.
Sure. And I read you just brought some crab and caviar not too long ago.
Yeah.
I read that. Yeah. Little shout out in the Georgia Strait from Rob over at the Fish Counter.
That's right. Yeah, Rob, my mentor, he taught me how to be a chef. I mean, Rob Clark is one of the greats in the city by far, and he just opened up this great little shop up on Main Street. Great fish and chips, great fish tacos, and great caviar.
And I love it because it's Vancouver's such a communal city regardless.
Absolutely.
But I really think that on the industry side of things, it's very tight-knit, but it's very open. I feel like there's a lot of information sharing and a lot of inspiration, all the way from the food program to the wine program.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, everybody really knows each other in town. We have these great organizations like the Chef's Table Society or Farm Folk City Folk or things like that, and every chef knows every other chef. Everybody eats at everybody's restaurants. We all get together, drink, have some beers once in a while. We all share the same suppliers, so that's another way we connect.
Sure.
And because we have such great food here, it's very easy for us not to be, this is my supplier and you can't go near it. It's like, let's help the supplier out. Here's the name of 3 or more chefs that you can go and talk to, and that's the way it works here.
It's awesome. And
it's great.
And I was here for Dine Out about a week ago, 10 days ago something.
Yep.
I had the braised beef shank, started with the chechi.
Yep.
And then my friend actually took the dessert home to his wife, because I was like, if I can't eat another bite right now, I'm stuffed. But you were really one of the first people to bring that idea of whole animal cookery to Vancouver.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's funny because I've been told this by more than one person that I've sort of brought it to Vancouver, but really it's been here forever. I mean, this is what our ancestors did. But my grandfather, my great grandfather, they bought a pig or bought a small little tiny pig, and they raised it and they fed it scraps from the table or scraps from the garden or whatever. And then every fall they would slaughter it, and they would break it down and make all the different cuts, and they would eat that over the whole winter. And so it's an old idea that hasn't been used in the restaurants for 50 or 60 years, but it is the way it's always been done. So it's
Sure.
it's a tradition that's thousands of years old, and my thing is all about teaching cooks to become chefs. That's my job.
Sure.
And you can't be a chef unless you know about whole animal butchery. You don't know how to be a chef unless you don't know how to cook those, like the shank that you had. It's very difficult to know how to cook that properly unless you butchered it and know where it comes from.
Sure, and as I worked with Chef Carol Chow for quite a while at the Beachside Cafe, and then Simon Mandeville from Doc 501 came over, and Steve Ewing. Simon actually, I guess, worked for Carol first, and then moved to Victoria and opened Doc 501. So I feel like I've been pretty lucky too. I've had a good insight working with some great chefs, and it really, for someone like me who started much like you did, I read in your bio, with PB&J sandwiches and fresh cookies out of the oven.
Yeah.
My mom worked 2 jobs, single mom, so I was cooking for my sister and I all the time.
Right.
And it wasn't until I started watching Urban Peasant where it really went from James Barber, where it really went from, whoa, cooking to the temperature matters, the ingredients matter, the time matters, the process. Am I dicing? Am I mincing? What is, how do I approach the cut? And then you start learning the value. You really start learning the value of the whole process from the animal, or whether it's coming from the ground. You just
Absolutely.
What goes onto the plate. You really start to appreciate that, and that is, I think, is one of the turning points where you go, cooking's great, and then you say, wow, I can actually be a chef and wrap my head around what the whole diorama of it needs to be.
That's exactly it. I mean, you've hit the nail on the head completely. It's like you start off with something as simple as a simple little dish, and then you can expand on it and expand on it and expand on it. You learn the history of it. You can feed it to 1,000 people. There's so many different things you can do with just a single ingredient, and it's the most exciting thing about being a chef. And it's the most fun thing about being a chef too. You mentioned chechi earlier. This simple little chickpea, this dried little chickpea that they're on salad bars all across North America. But we take it and we cook it, and we cook it with love, and we deep fry it, and then we mix it with lemon and chili and scallions and mint and stuff, and it becomes this beautiful thing that's much more than the sum of its parts. And it's such a simple dish, and we've served thousands and thousands of pounds of chickpeas over the last 5 years. You sort of forget after all those chickpeas that it's a beautiful dish to start with. I guess it's kind of like when you're a musician and you play that you played the same song for years and years and years, and you forget that it's that great song that kid listened to in the basement for the first time and was just so pumped by.
For sure. I mean, for every chickpea that you guys have served, I've probably spat the verse to Lady Venom the equal amount of times, and I still love the taste of it.
Yeah.
So we're downstairs right now in Campagnolo. What's going on upstairs? You guys are doing a bit of a transformation.
Yeah, we're doing a bit of a transformation. We have this whole building. We have 5,000 square feet here, and we have this really great little space, 32 seats at the front of the restaurant upstairs. We've used it as a private room, and now we're going to sort of open it up to the public and have a little bar up there, a separate bar menu, something that's still going to be playing on the Italian theme, but not as heavily as Campagnolo is. The whole menu will obviously from Campagnolo be available up there, but it's something a little different. It's got sort of a pub kind of vibe to it. It's going to be some great cocktails, some interesting wines from Peter Vendery, and some really cool bar snacks and bar foods. And we may be bringing back the refuel burger.
Oh, nice.
Maybe.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
If you haven't tried the burger, and they're doing it upstairs, you got to come back and revisit a classic. If you've yet to be to Campagnolo, I want to reach through the camera and grab you by the nape of your neck and drag you down here right now. Well, you can't see from our vantage point, but I'm looking at the Campagnolo purveyors and all the great, beautiful local suppliers that they deal with. I'm telling you, you want to taste a classic, you want it done right, you got to come see Mr. Belcham and his crew here down at Campagnolo. I'm Prevail, Chef Robert Belcham. Thank you guys so much. See you next time. Peace.